I think I'll begin. So to everyone who's just joined, hi, welcome to the session. I'm David from the Outreach and Recruitment team here at TAU International. I'll take the first 5 or 10 minutes just to give you a brief overview of Tel Aviv University International, who we are and what we do here, before I hand over to Elena, who will talk about the two Elenas, who will talk about the TESOL program. We also have a very distinguished alumni with us today as well, Adam Ahmed, who will be able to talk to you a little bit and share his experiences of the program also. Adam is here if you want to say hi, Adam.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. Good afternoon. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Okay, so I'm going to begin by, I got a slide deck, but I'm going to begin by playing my first video, which is called Taoism. And Taoism is just our philosophy that you study best through experience. So let me just play the video. Okay, can you all see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, it's very clear.
Okay, great. If you can't hear it, just let me know.
Okay.
Tel Aviv University International, the only place in the world where you can study Taoism. What is Taoism? Well, it's a local philosophy that says the best way to study is through experience. Understand with your head, learn with your feet. The best way to study a multicultural society is to live in one. Be ready with your elevator pitch. You never know who you'll meet on campus. If you want to learn the best marketing strategies, just go to the local market. Reading about the startup nation? Write your own chapter. Study literature in the place that inspired the bestseller of all time. You can't resolve a conflict until you witness one. At TAU, there is always room for more questions and 400 labs to find the answers. Come experience the wisdom of Taoism at Tel Aviv University International, where first-class education meets a second-to-none lifestyle.
Okay. Bear with me. Just going to open my slide deck. Okay. Okay. Can you all see the slide deck?
Yeah. It's
wonderful, wonderful, great. So yeah, that's our philosophy, which we call Taoism. And I think it's, it's simply our, philosophy that you study best through experience. You learn with your head, you understand with your feet. Learning happens everywhere and sometimes when you least expect it. So when you come to Tel Aviv University, you don't just learn in a classroom, you learn on a campus, you learn in a city, you learn in a different country, and all of these experiences, will change you. So you'll end it with, you'll experience what we call Taoism. Okay, I'm just going to give you, this is a good snapshot of TAU and who we are. We are Israel's largest and most comprehensive institution of higher education. We have one campus just north of downtown Tel Aviv. It's a big campus, 220 acres, lots of green spaces on campus. We have 125 schools and departments, 9 faculties. Every faculty has their own building, their own library. We have 30,000 total students, and of that, about 2,000 are international, and they come from all over the world, from 100 plus countries. Typically, about 40% of them may come from North America, and the rest come from all over the world, from Latin America, from Europe, from Asia and Australia. You heard in the video that we have 400 labs and 130 research institutions. We have 3,500 projects annually, 15,000 international alumni. So I think hopefully that gives you sort of an overview of who we are at a macro level. I won't go into all of these, but obviously as Israel's largest and most comprehensive institution, you know, we're very proud of our ranking, what we've achieved here. We're the #1 choice for Israeli students. We're a top 100 innovation university. We're ranked 5th worldwide for entrepreneurship and one of the only non-US institutions to make that top 10 list. We're also in the top 10 schools producing VC-backed founders. And again, the only non-US institution to make that list. So, you know, innovation very much is part of our DNA. And also 55% of our population on campus is women. We're very proud of that. Just last year, the university set up their very first Equality and Diversity Commission, headed up by Professor Aviv. And the commission, their goal is clear, it's to enhance equality and diversity among everyone on campus, faculty, students, admin staff. As I mentioned, we're a multidisciplinary institution of academic excellence, and our impact is felt, you know, large and wide. We have a vast range of research and teaching fields that, you know, create a unique, you know, connection between disciplines that are traditionally not connected to each other. We have world-class faculty, renowned professors. Every year, our students perform over 300,000 hours of community service. And of course, we're in Tel Aviv, this wonderful Mediterranean city of Tel Aviv that we call home, which leads me on to this. So, you know, if you've not been to Tel Aviv, it's a pulsating, vibrant city. It's Israel's cultural and commercial capital. It was named the Mediterranean capital of cool by the New York Times. It's a non-stop city with amazing nightlife, cuisine, cultures. It's a city that you can never stop exploring. And we come from all over the world here at TAU. In our office, we have, you know, staff from all over the world. I'm from Scotland. I have colleagues from the USA, from Latin America, from China, from Russia, from all over. So Israel's a great place, and obviously it's a sunny place, lots of beaches. It's wonderful. Oops. So just a snapshot of our alumni. This is our community that's, you know, changing the world in different fields, a world-changing community. It's 200,000 strong with 15,000 international alumni making an impact in their respective fields. I won't go into all of them, but there's a couple here I just want to mention. That we have Professor Ronit Sachi, who developed a new way to treat and prevent melanoma through a nano vaccine for skin cancer. We have Yotam Ottolenghi, who's a very celebrated chef and author. He's an alumni of ours. Uri Levine, who was the founder of Waze, which is a GPS navigation system. So we would hope that if you come to us after your time with us, you'll be successful and make an impact in your region and in your area of expertise. And just a few, of course, we have, you know, close links to industry through a couple of, we have Remote, which is they identify, nurture and transform our inventions into products. You have the TAU Ventures, which is an academic venture capital fund. We have the Entrepreneurship Center on campus, Ignite by Collar, which is an entrepreneurship club for students and alumni. Every year, we also have some, you know, leading industry events such as Cyber Week and Artificial Intelligence Week. And these are really the top events in cyber and AI in the world. And typically we have about, you know, 9,000 attendees from more than 80 countries that come here on campus. Okay, student life. I want to play my second video. I think, you know, student life extends well beyond the classroom, and I'll play this video that we'll hear some current students talking about the highlights of student life here. So let me just play this. I think I'm over my 5 minutes, but I promise I will not take up too much more time. Can you see this video?
Yeah.
Go.
Aviv.
The highlights are certainly the little travel events that you have every now and then.
Traveling within Israel, it's convenient because it's a small country, top to bottom, 3 to 4 hours.
I remember the first semester that I started, we went to Eilat for a weekend, and that was amazing.
I think like these cultural spots are like the best part about being in Israel. Like you visit the Holy Land and you go to a point in the old city where you're in the midst of like all the the major religious quarters, and it's a great learning experience.
Student life community in Tel Aviv University I found to be very fun and inclusive. I'm living in the dormitories in Broshim, and I made quite a few international friends from countries that I usually never interacted with. It's been a very interesting mix of cultures and understand different behaviors and how people think coming from different countries. It's been very nice to be submerged in a very multicultural institution as well as a country where you can see many things happening from different perspectives.
I've really gotten to get to know people that come from a wide range of backgrounds, and that allows me to step outside my comfort zone, understand their cultures, and I know that I have a friend whenever I travel there, so that's really cool.
If you're in Israel, you're in the hub of like politics and culture and religion, and that is all the spice you need when you want to become a storyteller.
Sorry, 1 second. There we go. Okay. So that was a bit about student life, and I just want to talk about our student life team lastly. We call them our madrachim, which is a Hebrew word for guide or counselor, madrich. And outside of the academics, I think they are, one of the best things about TAU. They're all Israeli students. They're all post-army, doing their first or second degree, and they're there to very much give you a nice soft landing. So they're there on arrival day. They're there on orientation. They live in the dorms with our students. They're available 24/7 for any issues or any support that you may have. They'll assist you, even if you need somebody that speaks Hebrew to speak to your bank, or you've lost your travel card, they can assist with this. They're also there to, get the best out of your time in Israel with the student life team, because they do activities and events on campus, pizza night, yoga night, movie nights. There's lots of excursions. They'll take you off in day trips in Tel Aviv, in Jerusalem, overnight trips in the north and in the south. I think they really are one of the key benefits of coming to study with us is a student life team. And there's actual pictures of one of the student life excursions in Yafo just last year. And that sense of community also comes through to the dorms as well. Of course, if you're looking to live on campus, we have on-campus dorms. The student life team live among you in the dorms. There's 24-hour security, there's health insurance, there's a doctor's office on campus, there's a food court and supermarket in walking distance. Here's a couple of pictures of the dorms. They're very nice. They're all studio style, so you have your own kitchens. We don't do meal plans, but it's a great way for you to make friends with other students and to cook together. They have laundry facilities, they have study rooms. There's also a gym on campus as well, and it's just literally a few minutes walk away. Before I finish, I just wanted to say, I know you're all interested in the TESOL program, but here at TAU International, we have actually 60 programs taught in English, from high school gap programs for high school graduates to undergraduate degrees to graduate degrees to study abroad, short term, all the way to PhD and postdoc. So you can literally come to us post high school and matriculate your entire way throughout your higher education journey. That's me finished. So thank you very much. I will stay on, of course, the webinar. I'll be available to answer any questions if anybody does. And that's my email address there. You're welcome to reach out to me if you do have any questions. So thank you very much for listening. I'll hand over to, I don't know who's going to go next to present the program. Okay, Ilana, the floor is yours.
Either me or Adam, but maybe I'll say
Adam.
something in the program and then we can hear Adam. Is it okay, Adam? Okay. All right.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. So I'm Ilana Sohami, Professor Ilana Sohami, and I've been at Tel Aviv University for many, many years. I did my work, my academic work in the US, in Minnesota, then in California, and then I travel around the world, still going on, doing all kinds of things on issues of migration. Immigrants, you know, in Israel, there are many people who come from various countries, so that's one issue. And just to mention migration, there is a special program for migration, but we also, you can take courses at times between, you know, take courses in other programs at Tel Aviv University, but we teach a course on migration. We teach, one of the other things that I'm doing is working on language testing. You may know about language testing. How do we know that people know the language? I teach a course on language policy, what languages should be taught and learned by people in different countries, not just in Israel. We try in general to talk about Israel, but to go beyond, because we know that people come from various countries around the world. And the other thing that we start with in my course is a course on linguistic landscape, which is exactly related to what David just said, that we learn through walking. So we go around the city and we take pictures of signs. And Israel is a very multilingual country, multicultural, and you can find signs in every language. And sometimes you find signs you want to see and it's only in English, it's not in Hebrew. So there's always issues of contestation about the languages in public spaces. So instead of just hearing about it, we will go around with cameras, take pictures, analyze it, and learn more about the languages of Israel. You all know that Hebrew is the main language in Israel, and then comes Arabic as the second language, and also we have Russian, and of course English, like every other country. But issues of which languages get in the front are very important for us, and there is some contestations in the public space. You will be able to discover it. You also have courses here, and I can say in parentheses, which is more than should be in parentheses. All our teachers are teachers with lots of experience. They teach also in our regular program. Regular program means similar program where Hebrew is the language of instruction. And we have people who do the research and work in these areas. So we have issues of curriculum. We have issues of research methods, how to do research. I already mentioned language testing, how to do tests. We have courses on immigration, which I mentioned, and you'll get to meet migrations. And it's not, when we talk about migration, we don't just think about people who move one way, come here, stay in Israel, but people who come from Africa and other places who are refugees and asylum seekers. So this is kind of a new phenomena in Israel. Also, and these many times the government doesn't really approve of them being here. So it's a big battle, and we are supportive of people who can come to the university, and you'll hear it from Adam in a minute, how some of the students in the recent graduation also showed us this, is that a number of people who are asylum seekers in Israel really managed to go through the program. Adam will tell you in a minute how he got his MA, and he comes from Sudan. So we'll talk about that. So the program by itself is maybe I'll say something more. We have courses in linguistics in general, just what is linguistics. We have courses about sociology in language. We have courses about students with disabilities and how to treat them in school, all about teaching English. But again, it's all teaching English, but we never drop all the other languages that we use in Israel. So it's a program of teaching English to speakers of other languages. However, we're talking about all the other languages, those who are left behind, those who people want to learn them. So we're talking about what we say today, call it multilingualism. In other words, languages are not disconnected from one another. And as to the program itself, we have actually it's more or less two types of a program. One is a program which is very practical. It's in other words, we work with you on how to teach in the best way, how to do lessons plan, how to create curriculum, how to develop tests, and so on. So that we call this the practical aspect of the program, because many students do this in teacher education. We do it as part of the MA, because when you get here an MA in TESOL, this is an actual degree that is recognized everywhere. So the other part is more of theoretical thing, more historical, policy-wise, a bit political at times, talking about agendas of and theories of second language acquisition. How do people learn languages? Is it better to learn when you are young, older? What are some of the theories of education in terms of teacher training? And I'm sure I forgot some of the courses, but Ilana may bring them up. But anyway, this is a sample of, and the third part, which I think is the best part, is all of you get assigned to schools, and you actually get to be in-house in schools where you'll be assigned to an English teacher, to an English class in a certain school, usually in the Tel Aviv area, where you really get to see how students learn, how teachers teach, how the principal manages the school or how they don't manage the school. So we're going to learn about the Israeli school system and see really what does it mean to learn English in Israeli schools. And you oftentimes are also asked to teach with the student. And then you come to the university and you discuss how it's going in class. You also have a course where you go to a number of places in Israel where you really get to see different schools. And there's a huge variety of schools. On one hand, it's a central educational system. On the other hand, there are such a diverse type of schools. There are schools for Arab students where the language of instruction is Arabic. There's schools where Hebrew is a language. There's a school such as schools that teach other languages, and but mostly it's of course Hebrew, but all other languages are being taught in school. So I think that's very important, those visits in school, and you can see the differences. So by and large, this is something that we think the program is rich. It has a practical thing. It has a more theoretical applied. We don't have ever just theoretical. Everything is connected. And the connection between what happens in your school and what you learned in class at the university is very connected. And there's many more things I could tell you. And Ilana will continue now, and she will tell you a little bit about the program itself and the requirements and so on. And we are all very much looking forward to seeing you here, and can guarantee the program has been in operation almost 20 years now, TESOL. We were the first, in fact, in case you don't know it, David, we were the first program, the TESOL program, and we sustained for all those 20 years. So we really hope you join us. You'll see it's a fun program. Teachers are very nice and supportive in many, many ways. We do parties. I invite the students to party in my home. We do tours of Tel Aviv, Jaffa, and go up north or other places. And all in all, it's something that I recommend. So please join us and soon. And Ilana, you'll explain the two types of joining, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Ilana, very much. I'm the other Ilana. And I'm sort of right now filling.
It's a requirement. Everybody who comes to the program has to change their name to Ilana, right?
With an E, not with an I. So, yeah. So I'm filling in for the coordinator right now. I'll just give you a little background about myself. I teach in the TESOL program. I teach the course on materials development, curriculum design, and I also had the research forum. But for, I would say, about 10 years, I was the director of the program. So I should be able to help you and answer questions. In addition, I had the English programs in the Division of Languages at Tel Aviv University, which means the courses that non-English speaking students have to take to be exempt from English requirements. So it's more like English for academic purposes. So Ilana talked about the practicum, and I think one of the strengths of our program in terms of practical teaching, she mentioned schools, that you're in schools, but you can be placed according to your preferences anywhere from elementary school, even nursery school. We've had 2 graduates who opened up a English-speaking nursery school, but more or less from English in elementary school, junior high, high school, and in higher education. And a lot of the MA TESOL programs don't really cover teaching English in higher education. So if you're interested in that in particular, I'll be able to answer questions because I'm usually the mentor. Now, another important point that Ilana mentioned is this very good balance between research and practice. So it's not all theoretical, it's not all research, although yes, this is an MA program, there's research involved, but we also give you a solid practical background. And as Ilana talked about, a number of the courses are very practical in nature. And this is also because we accept students or candidates without any background whatsoever in education and language teaching. So every year the cohort's a bit different. Some people have more experience, some less, but it's fine if you have absolutely no experience. We cover that. We also have 2 tracks. One is to get the MA without a thesis. So that would be basically the 1 year. We start in the summer with a fall and spring semester, although you can start in the fall and then make up the summer session the following year. And then after that, you would get your MA without a thesis. We also have a thesis track, and that would entail another year where you are a thesis student, where you do your research and write up your thesis. I think a point that I also want to make for people maybe outside of Israel or even inside of Israel who might not know this, if you're interested in pursuing a PhD in Israel, then it's very important that you have a thesis. The most programs require a thesis. So that would be, again, something that we would be discussing throughout the year. You know, what are your motivations? Is this something that I really want? You don't have to decide at the very beginning at all. So what are the requirements? The requirements for the program are that you have graduated from a any kind really of undergraduate program in an accredited university. You have to have a grade point average of 80 or above. However, if you're not close, you know, like if you're sort of close to 80 but don't have an 80, let's say high 70s, we do have a limited allowance for special conditional acceptance, but it is a limited number. So if you're interested in applying and you don't have that 80, maybe you have a 77, something like that, then apply early and we'll try to help you with that. For proof of English proficiency can be in one of the following ways. So if you come from an English-speaking country and you've graduated from high school, then you automatically have the English proficiency required. Or if you graduated from an undergraduate program, your BA was taught exclusively in English, not necessarily in an English-speaking country. You know, it could be one of our English programs here. We have a BA program. Then you would be exempt from English requirements. We also accept scores on 3 international tests, and I will maybe write them in the chat so you have them. The three tests of English proficiency would be number 1, IELTS, number 2, TOEFL IBT. That's from ETS in the States. And that includes, they have a new test that you can do at home, obviously with test security. So that includes the home edition exam and Cambridge exams. And you have to have, let's say for IELTS, a 6.5, for TOEFL, a 79, and for Cambridge, you have to have B2 or higher on the Common European Framework of Reference. If you don't know what that is, you'll learn that in the program. And all the components, the speaking, the writing, the listening, etc., have to be more or less at the B2 level. If you are from Israel and you are a certified English teacher, in other words, certification from the Ministry of Education, that it's something that we can also explore together. So basically you have to show proof of English proficiency that you would be able to function in an English medium program. I think more or less, that's what I wanted to cover. If there are any questions up to this point, I'd be happy to answer. Okay, then Adam, the floor is yours.
Ilana,
Go ahead.
I just want to ask you, I mean, and it's just a technical question. What are the dates that you spoke about? There's the non-thesis and doing a thesis, and you could start in the fall. Can you give us accurate dates? Because I
can. This is something a bit strange about the Israeli educational system. We don't have like one date. It's always after the Jewish high holidays. Okay. So it's always somewhere mid to late October. And going towards, let's say, on average, mid-June. So we have a summer session. So our summer session, which is a bit lighter in terms of the course load, started on Wednesday. So it's like around the beginning, end of August, beginning of what comes after August? September. And so that's what we call the summer session. And then the fall semester would be around, let's say, average mid-October to mid-January. Then we have a semester break, which is about 5 weeks. And then we come back February, March to June. So
this year it starts on the 23rd, just so you know.
Yeah, this year is the 23rd for the fall semester. But as we said, if you're interested in joining the program in the fall, then what you can do, as I said, is take the fall and spring semesters and then continue to the summer of 2023 and do the summer session. If you're accepted in the program, you will get a student visa. And we've had students from around the Middle East, and it is not a problem. So
it's not complicated.
It's Israeli bureaucracy, but it's not complicated, right? So yes, if you're accepted into the program, then I think also we have a link here that is visa information in the chat.
Yeah, I just saw it in the chat.
Yeah, but you would get a student visa. What happens is you're accepted into the program, and then you get an official letter of acceptance. And you would probably have to bring that. And there's information. We also have a general academic booklet that's sent out to all students in international programs that has information about how to get the student visa. What does the student visa do? In other words, you cannot work, but you can study. And of course, the student life would help you as well. Yes. So in answer to that question, once you have the acceptance letter, you would be able to get the student visa.
Yes.
Well, the summer session, I think, is almost every day except Tuesday. The schedule is slight differences every year, but more or less we try to give you a day off on Tuesday. But during the fall and spring semesters, I'm very happy that you asked this question. All our courses are on Mondays and Wednesdays. In addition, we have on Thursdays about 5, maybe 6 times in the fall semester, and then again 5 or 6 times in the spring semester, a research forum. This year it is online on Zoom, so you would not have to be coming to campus, but logging in.
Thank you so much.
The
Thank
school
you.
very welcome.
and the time in the school, but if you're teaching anywhere in the school, you don't have to do the teacher practicum, right?
Well, you do in a way. In other words, the school that you're teaching in will be considered the school that you're doing the practicum in, because in addition to getting experience in teaching, which you might have, we also use the schools a lot of times as a laboratory to do research. So for example, in the course that I teach, curriculum design and materials development, I encourage you to do the research, the needs analysis, designing curriculum for the school that you are teaching in. So you have, a very clear population in mind. But yes, absolutely, you can use the school if you're already teaching as your practicum school. In addition, if you live outside of the center of the country, for example, in the north or the south, we're open to trying to arrange a school for you within the area where you live. So that's not another time that you have to come into Tel Aviv. But that would be together, we would work that out with Hene Solomon, who is our teacher trainer. So any questions like that, we can forward to Hene as well.
Okay. Maybe Adam now, maybe we should ask Adam to talk for a few minutes.
Yes, I'm ready.
Yes.
Okay, so hello everyone. Yes, my name is Adam Ahmed. I am from Sudan, and I am a asylum seeker living here in Israel. And I graduate from TESOL program like 2021. I finished just last year, and now I'm continue doing my MS thesis. And I'm really happy like I joined this program because it's really also like open door for me, and I usually call it like a TESOL family because like everybody is welcoming. And in the beginning when I started applying for this program, because I was teaching a group of the like a member of the African community who are living here in Israel, specifically those who are from my country. But my first degree was not in teaching, so I thought like to find another program support me. So I thought, okay, to find way how to find different methods of teaching. So I applied, and even we have like difficult obstacles, but really like I got help from TESOL administration and all of them, and then I made to get in. So when I just joined the program, I found different courses over there, not only just like method of teaching. So I learned a lot really, as I mentioned before, and from theoretical way, which is to knowing even the language, to know the people, and then to be a teacher. So the program helped me today, like to be really like a good teacher, because even today, after I graduated, I working with African student organization here in Israel, and all the things that I learned and implementing it now, because I learned it like immigration course. Now I learned it more how to deal even with the people from different countries. And also I am developing material for this project because we are working with the high school student who finished their high school here in Israel or came here as a minor. And then I help them as an education coordinator and also material developer. So all these things I learned from the courses that I had with TESOL. And today we have really great, like I from my knowledge that I gained it now today, just this year, we have like 60 students accept them to higher education here in Israel. So that is, I think, is really great, like to see what I learned, I really use it, and also the staff and teachers, like it's really like Ilana Shoham is here, and Ilana Inspector, and all of them. I visit their homes, and everything is really great. Like I enjoyed and helped. And also we had like touring to the different cities. Even our time was Corona, but we managed like to just put mask and move around like Tel Aviv and the north and different places. So it was great. And even for practicum, like when I was studying, like every student required to do the practicum. So I applied with the organization here that work helping African asylum seekers here in Israel, and also they approved for me to do my practicum over there. So I say it's really great and it's helpful. Like to be a teacher, really you will learn a lot. And then not only just the method of teaching, but how to develop material, how to deal with the student, how to deal with the different people, different language. And that is the great things I see like from there. And I always say I appreciate like the way that I found, and now now I'm also not only I finished my MA, but I'm also doing my thesis. Like it can be helpful also for the future, like for to help myself and help others.
Wonderful.
Very good.
Thank you so much, Adam. I put into the chat for everyone, Adam actually delivered the keynote address at our end of year ceremony last year in 2021. I put the link to the recording in the chat, so I do recommend to watch that afterwards. Thank you so much for coming, Adam. It was an absolute pleasure to see you again. And thank you so much for coming in and to share your experiences. Does anybody have any questions they want to ask Adam or myself or anyone? Okay. Okay,
one point that Adam actually touched on in terms of the practicum, if you're interested in adult education, such as where Adam was working with a refugee population, that's also something that you can do. And I think one of the strengths additionally of the program is that you might not end up as a teacher in the classroom. In other words, the program gives you knowledge and tools to be used in other aspects as well. We have graduates who went on, obviously, to do PhDs and became researchers. We have graduates who work in curriculum design. We had a graduate who became the dean of students in a university in Mongolia, which I think that was one of the crowning achievements. So it's a program that equips you for many different career paths, not only being a teacher in the classroom.
Absolutely. And also Jack Ma began his career as an English teacher.
And also it's a good thing about the program, you find students from all around the world. Like you find people from Asia, Africa, everywhere. That's also really good.
Wonderful. Okay, so, well, thank you, everyone. I did record this session. I will send out the recording I will edit it a little bit and just take out the Q&As. But I'll send that out to everyone in the next couple of days. And I think there's still time to apply for the fall semester. The deadline is the 20th of September. So you don't have long. So I would recommend you, if you do want to apply, to apply quickly. And hopefully we'll welcome you to sunny, wonderful Tel Aviv in the fall.
Yes, I'm just putting my email because I am filling in right now for the coordinator who should be coming back soon. So if anyone needs additional information, has questions, how do I apply, or more questions of the program, please feel free to contact me. I'll also put my name here since there are two Ilanas. So my name is Ilana Spector Cohen. So please feel welcome to contact me if you have any questions.
I can also put that in the same email as well, Ilana. I'll pop that, your email address in there as well.
Great.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Everybody.